Welcome back to Digital Adel Hoops. I'm your host, Digital Adel. This is my co-host, Matt Hanifan. How you doing today, Matt?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I am doing fantastic. I've been super busy working on all kind of side projects after work. Of course, I got my day job, so I've been working 8 hours a day there. Uh, just wanting this regular season to get started. I just want something. Give me preseason at this point. Give me training camp. I need something. There's just nothing going on. I've been watching a little football. My Pittsburgh Steelers are in training camp, so I've been keeping up on that. So that's been mildly entertaining. Um, I just need some action. How about you? What you been up to, Matt?
Well, the Major League Baseball trade deadline was yesterday, and elsewhere I do a bunch of work for that, so I'm pretty tired. But
Busy man.
yeah, it's the thick of baseball season. For basketball, I think I will be getting there probably in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Just considering we've watched so much basketball from October all the way through, pretty much July.
Right.
With summer league going on, I usually try to take a little bit of a break as it pertains to watching basketball. Of course, when it comes to watching how these guys did in summer league over the last several weeks,
Right.
I've re-racked some tape, but it's not crazy just because we watched them so much during summer league.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
so this is around the time of year where I take a little bit of a step back, like maybe like a half step back from watching basketball.
Yeah.
Um, and watching the previous season, but once, a couple weeks passes, I'll be frothing at the mouth for something.
That's kind of what I
It's
did after Vegas. I kind of just
yeah.
took some time off, but now that time has ended for me, and I'm just like, where's the basketball? Where give me the hoops?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It
I
that time will come.
It'll happen for you, absolutely. I wrote an article on Sports Illustrated. If you're joining our channel, me and Matt Hanifan both contribute to Sports Illustrated's website on SI, one of the most iconic brands for me growing up in the 90s. And we're trying to bring the glory back to that site and make it great. I um I wrote an article on Ryan Conwell for the Miami Heat and his path to playing time. And at
Yep.
first, you would think that with the veterans on this team, he's not going to get much playing time. But I lay out my case where he could actually eat some innings to still a basketball
Mhm.
reference. And if you want to
You mean
check that
baseball?
out. Yeah, baseball. What did I say?
You said basketball.
Crap. Baseball reference in basketball setting anyway. And it's if you want to view that article, if you just Google my name, Adele, on SI, Miami Heat, it'll come right up. I'll be the first name you see. And that'll be the first article that you see. And so if you want to support our work, please do so. Sports Illustrated's website on SI. Matt, have you written anything lately, or you been all baseball all the time?
It's been mostly baseball, but I did write something recently. It wasn't even technically me writing it. It was a roundtable we always
Oh, the good old
that we
round
always do.
tables. Yeah.
And it was for is the Magic 3 points is the Magic's 3 point shooting still a problem?
Yes.
Lo and behold, yes, it is. Because it again, as we have talked about on previous episodes, their roster really didn't change this summer.
No, they
So
doubled
them
down for
being
whatever
27th
reason.
in 3 point percentage is still going to exist next year, most likely. So, it's still a problem. And I asked a bunch of our guys to pitch in their thoughts, and that was kind of the consensus of it all. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, lately it's been all baseball for me. So
Gotcha. Well, we're going to change that right now. We're going
yeah,
to
right
dive
now.
into the Atlanta Hawks rookies only segment for you guys. Get that baseball talk out of here, Matt Hanifan. This is a basketball channel where the action is up and down, the pace is fast, and you don't have to worry about a pitch clock, just a shot clock.
Yep.
Um, the Atlanta Hawks, they drafted one of your favorite players in this class,
Yep.
in Kingston Flemings. Kingston Flemings in college was dynamic. That is the word I would like to use for Kingston. 16.1 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 5.2 assists. His speed was game changing. He was able to shoot the ball well enough to keep the defense honest. Shot about 38.7% from three. But then he got into Las Vegas. Tell me about what you thought you saw from him in Las Vegas.
I don't think the numbers were gaudy for him, and that was both in the Salt Lake City Summer League and in Las Vegas, where
Right.
he played 2 games apiece. But
Right.
I really thought he was impactful in the sense that like he was running their offense, he was pushing the pace,
Yeah.
he was making the right reads offensively. I think the issue that came up with him was like the 3-point shooting wasn't exactly there. He shot 30%
No.
from three. And then the finishing around the rim, like I don't think was that good. But I think for him, some of that was expected to a certain extent, just
Yeah.
because he was on the skinnier side of things.
Right.
But I'm not really worried about that long term with him in terms of like I know he's going to be able to get 2 feet in the paint. I know he's going to be able to, vertically explode and sometimes
Yeah.
finish through contact, especially in the open court.
Right.
Um, he was active defensively. I thought he was more active in Salt Lake City than he was in Vegas. But like just in general, I thought he ran the offense really well. He was good defensively. He
Definitely.
was pretty much everything that you wanted to see outside of again the 3-point shooting, the shooting efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like an overall impact, on off impact, he was their best player, I think, or at least one of their best players. And I think you saw what you needed to see out of him from that kind of standpoint.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Friend of the show, Ian, comes in and says, yo, what's good, fam? Welcome to the show, E. I really appreciate you. Be like Ian. This is an interactive show. We want your comments. We will answer your comments live on air, talk about these players, discuss these players. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Be like Ian. But yeah, I agree with you, Matt, in this regard. I believe Kingston Flemings was trying to find his footing, a lot like Darius Acuff. The smaller guards struggled a little bit more in Vegas because the lanes close a little bit quicker. The angles that they take to get to the basket and get their shot off, those angles get cut down. The windows that get those shots off is a lot smaller. So I agree with that. He did a really good job distributing the basketball, 6.5 assists in the 2 games that he played in Vegas. But as we talked about how that lane gets compact and things get congested, he still struggled with the turnovers. He had about 3.5 turnovers per game. And when you have the poor finishing around the rim, the poor shooting, that court's going to get really condensed on you when players don't have to respect that outside shot. But overall, I agree with you. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of Summer League superstars not do anything. The Anthony Morrows of the world, where they're like, who's this guy? He's lighting it up in Summer League and never did anything in the NBA. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. These guys are going to take time to develop. And so I wouldn't write anybody off after a couple of Summer League games. But they did have a Summer League player that played pretty well, and that's Zuby Ejiofor. And Zuby Ejiofor was a guy that we identified as one of the most underrated players in the class. We thought whoever got Zuby, wherever they ended up taking him, whether it was in the second round or the bottom of the first, they were going to get one heck of a player. And Atlanta did just that. Zuby was fantastic in Las Vegas, just like he was in college. The one thing about Zuby, he's always going to bring his hard hat. He's always going to get downhill, play physical defense, play physical offense, rebound, do all the dirty work for you. And he did a lot of that in Vegas as well. Tell me real quick after I read this comment by Ian what you think of Zuby Ejiofor and his time in Vegas. But E says, do y'all think the new rookies Atlanta got will make an impact in the lineup in the upcoming season? And I'll give you the short answer of that. Yes, I do. And Atlanta's already a good team, and these guys are going to be able to play a role, and they're going to be able to fit right in with those guys, especially with Kingston Flemings fitting right in alongside all those long, lanky wing and guards that the Atlanta Hawks have, and then Zuby filling that big man need. But what did you think, Matt, of Zuby Ejiofor's time in Las Vegas?
Again, to what you just said, like he put on the hard hat. He was doing the dirty work in that Thunder game. He had 15 points to go along with 19 rebounds, and that was his second and final game in Salt Lake City. He played 2 more, just like Kingston in Las Vegas, so he played 4 in total. 13 points, 9 rebounds. Again, like I know you and I have gushed about it over time. We just love the motor. Like
Absolutely.
we love hit the motor. We love the defensive versatility. Again, he's slightly undersized as a big, but like I don't know how much that's going to matter just because of how physical he is, just
Yes,
because of how
sir.
strong he is, both offensively and defensively. Like he doesn't really get pushed off a spot.
No.
And he's super active with his hands, and he knows. I mean, he can play multiple coverages. I don't think he's going to be
He's got
switchable
really
right
good
away.
feet.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be like switchable right away at the NBA, but I project that will be the case over a pretty
Absolutely.
quick amount of time, actually. Like, I don't think it's going to be like a super big adjustment. I just wonder how they're going to actually utilize him in that aspect. But like
Right.
the Hawks kind of agreed with us in the sense that they
Mhm.
took him 23rd. And that was kind of where you and I both had him. I think I had him like 25 or 26 on my big board. I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly where it was, but like, that was a pretty thin, like it got to that part of the draft where it was like Terrace was still on the board. There was a
Right.
few other bigs that were still on the board, and just like I liked Zuby over all of them. Senek
Absolutely.
on the board was at the time, so I guess he was the one exception to that.
Yeah, I
But
think I
for a
would have
team,
taken Sinak over him. Yeah.
yeah, but for a team like Atlanta, who's also trying to win now, like I could see the reason why you would want to take a guy like Zuby.
Right.
Um, Even though again, you and I both love the upside of Senak more. But he was awesome in summer league. Um, again, averaged nearly double double, 13 and 9. The rim protection, the defensive playmaking.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing that left a little to be desired was again like the finishing at the rim. Um,
Right.
like that I think was the big thing. But I mean, you know, was shooting the three a little bit too. I think that was one thing
I
that
think
was a
he was
little bit
shooting
of
it more
encouraging.
than a little bit. That's where I
Well,
really wanted to touch on. I think he's going to
yeah,
surprise people with how well he's going to shoot the three ball.
I didn't expect him to shoot. I mean, I didn't expect him to shoot nearly 23s in 4 summer league games. I can tell you that much.
He was getting
Um,
them up.
yeah, he was getting them up, and again, knocked down 6 of them, 35% clip. And yeah, I really think he'll be, to answer Ian's question, him and Kingston, I think, are absolutely gonna at some point during the season, whether it's the beginning, middle, end, whatever you want to call it. I think they're absolutely gonna impact that rotation at some point. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm not worried about that with them.
Absolutely. And if you look at his sample size of those two games for Zuby in Vegas, he shot 42.9% in Vegas from three. He took 3.5 attempts per game. He shot 78% from the free throw line. He averaged in Vegas 2.5 assists per game. He was a stat sheet stuffer. 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks. He does a little bit of everything for you. So, yeah, I think he's going to be able to contribute right away. Love the pick of Zuby Ejiofor. We got to talk about their last rookie. And I know we're flying through this episode because what we're going to do at the end is talk about them in totality at the end. And maybe we'll touch on, one of their second year guys as well, who I think deserves some mention also. But Dirty Dancer says, might be tough with those OKC wings incoming. Yeah, it may be tough, but I
Yeah,
still think
sure.
you're going to need to eat You're going to need to eat innings. A lot like a lot of teams around the league, you're going to need to take the load off of your main guys. And if you have people that are young and you trust them, they're going to find some rotation minutes throughout the year. Will they play in the playoffs? Now that's the real story. And that's something that we'll talk about, like I said, here at the end.
A
But
lot can change over an 82 game season.
a lot can change over an 82 game season. You're absolutely right. But they had another pick, and this is the controversial pick because he kind of manipulated his way out of the bottom of the first, top of the second round to get picked by the team of kind of where he wanted to go. And that was Henry Vasar out of North Carolina, the big man. Talk to me, Matt, about that situation and what you thought of him in Vegas.
So Vaystar didn't want to sign a two-way contract, from my understanding. And so he fell to 52, was drafted by the Hawks. Um, and like I understand that from his angle, just from like a money standpoint, from like a guaranteed contract standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
He was okay in summer league.
Right.
I think the same kind of issues that we highlighted pre-draft still exist
Right.
and were his issues during summer league, like the finishing, the rebounding, just the strength or lack thereof. I think
Right.
are saying like his functional play strength is in just isn't where it needs to be,
Absolutely.
and I'm just not sure he's gonna ever really get there.
Right.
Um, so I still think, I mean, again, I hope I'm wrong in that sense. But there's still definitely gonna be some questions that linger around him from like, is his body type conducive to like any NBA playing time or like
Right.
any NBA success? He
Yeah.
shot 10 of 27 from 3-point range. He
That
improved
he
his
did.
he improved his 3-point shooting his, really last year and a half, 2 years.
Right.
Um and really his senior year too, like especially his senior year at North Carolina. There was a little bit of that toward the latter end of his Arizona tenure. Um in 25, but like I think that's kind of what he projects as, is like a stretch five who can block some shots. But other than that, like everything else from someone of his size leaves a little bit to be desired. Like and to some extent, he really complements Ejiofor.
He
Not to say they're going to be
does in a
play
way. He
together, but
does in a
like,
way. Yeah.
yeah, he does. So like I don't really know if he's gonna provide any sort of impact as a rookie. Like for me, he feels like
I
a guy
have
that's just going to be
questions.
stashed in a G League the whole season
I agree
because
with
he's
you.
just not there.
Exactly. He's not strong enough. And just like we described Zuby as you can't really move him off his spot, it's the complete opposite with Kings or
Yeah,
with Henry
you
Vassar.
are definitely moving
You can move him off
Vasar
his
off the
spot. I
spot.
got to see him
Yeah,
play live in Las Vegas. They played the Boston Celtics, and him and Sinak was a really fun watch because Sinak isn't strong yet either. But even Sinak at one point got sick of Vasar and he just started bullying him inside. And I
he's
was
much
like,
stronger than Vasar is. Like
he's much
that's,
stronger than Vasar. Yeah.
and he's also 3 years younger. So
And he's 3 years younger and he's more athletic
yeah,
and more mobile. And so, Sinek at one point in the first half was really getting it taken to him by Vasar from the outside.
yeah,
Vasar was just hitting shots. And then in that second half, they must have, the coaching staff must have been like, hey, Chris, like, you're getting your butt handed to you. And he was
yeah.
like, I'm sick of it. Went down low, started bullying him on rebounds, blocking shots, going to the cup, getting fouled. Dude, that was a fun game to watch from Chris Sinek. And it just shows you, we said prior to this draft, 5 through 25 could go in any order. And we knew that. Did we know it was going to be that extreme where Cam Carr was going to go as low as he did or Sinek was going to go low as he did? No, but still, we predicted that kind of chaos could happen because the talent is so closely stacked together in this draft class. Just a couple of messages to get through. Dirty Dancer said, I thought he wanted the Lakers or something, referring to Vasar. I mean, it may be true because he wanted to go to a
There was
place
smoke
where,
around that. Yeah,
yeah, he wanted to go to a place where there was an open big slot. And so therefore he didn't want a two-way contract. He wanted a standard contract. So yeah, maybe he kind of wanted LA. The premise was the same. Didn't want the two-way, wanted an open slot to try to compete for a big man spot. And that's kind of what ended up happening. E also said, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's right. Be like E. Dirty Dancer also said, I am anti-player empowerment when it comes to the draft. Just take the best player available and make a deal with it. Make them deal with it. I agree with that and disagree with it because the sports owners have so much power as it is. It's not like the players have a lot of say in these things to begin with. So
yeah.
whatever little power the players get, I'm okay with it. Will I call them a diva for it? Sure. But this leads us to the conclusion of our episode. The last 10 minutes of this episode, I want to talk quickly about Kobe Johnson, who I also saw live in Vegas. And he was outstanding. And he just looks like an NBA player. His form befuddles me that he's shot this poorly in Vegas because he has a good base. He has a good solid base to shoot from. his form isn't that bad. But he did a little bit of everything, and he just looked like he didn't belong there. Just as a player that knew how to get to his spots, knew how to shoot, get where to get his shots. Defensively, he overpowered people with his quickness, his length, shooting the gaps. He blocked a few shots. What are your thoughts on Kobe Johnson, and what are your thoughts on this group of getting playing time in the regular season, and will any of them be able to snag some rotation minutes in a playoff game?
Is Kobe under contract, or is he a two-way guy? Like, is he with them on a two-way right now? Because I was going to say, like, he feels like a guy that, again, could kind of sneak up as like a two-way player throughout a season, but I don't know if he's on a two-way.
It's a great question. So he came to them in June of 2025 as an unrestricted free agent. He signed a contract. He signed a contract in September of 2025. So no, he is not on a two-way.
So him being a free agent, currently I'm looking at their two-way guys right now: Jalen Wilson, Keyshawn Gilbert, and Ray J. Dennis. I don't know.
I think Kobe's better than all those guys.
I don't know if they have plans to change that. I mean, they just brought in Gilbert.
Right.
I don't remember if they just brought in Dennis or Wilson. Anywho, I do like this group. I really do like this group. I think Atlanta was one of the teams that like made some sneaky, like really nice improvements throughout the season, or throughout the offseason rather. And them being what they were a top 6 seed in the East last year, like especially if Jalen Johnson's able to stay healthy, they can really take a leap. And I think these guys that we just talked about, especially Zuby and Kingston, can kind of spearhead that. Like, I really do think the door is open for a guy like Kingston to make like an instant impact and potentially be like a rookie of the year candidate, because they really don't have a point guard.
Right.
Like
they're all like wings.
Well, yeah, they did acquire your guy Ryan Nembhard. But they also acquired Devin Carter, but I just don't think that like they really have like a true point guard. And the beauty about Kingston is Quinn Snyder really likes like the pace and space kind of offense.
Absolutely.
And I think that'll really benefit Kingston in due time. I hope it doesn't come down to a place where he's playing a lot of off ball. Like, I want to see a mix.
Right.
But I would like him more on ball than off ball if I had to, pick.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, because that team has a lot of talent on them. Nikhil Alexander Walker was really good last year. They just got Aaron Wiggins and CJ McCall, or Aaron Wiggins and Luguentz Dort.
Right.
Obviously, they have Onyeka, they have Jock Londale, who they brought back. They have Zuby. Asa Newell is a guy that really didn't touch the surface a lot last year, a guy that you and I both liked, and I wonder how big of a second-year leap he makes. Speaking of second-year guys.
Yeah. He's talented.
Yeah. Like, I just think this is going to be like a really fun group to watch, even though the spacing between Dyson and Dort is going to get a little rough. But hey, you're going to have an elite point of attack defender for 48 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, I just think this is a really good group that's going to contend for a home court spot in the East. Whether they obtain that or not is a different story.
Absolutely. And Ian said, I agree with Matt. I think Kingston can make some noise. Dirty Dancer says, I enjoy summer basketball tours for college teams, but why do they always look like the dream team against the world in 1994? Yeah, it's always a blowout in some form or fashion, but that's what coaches that schedule these things schedule them easy on purpose, though. You want to build your confidence for your young players getting their feet wet into the action as you start to go into the regular season, so that when you play quality opponents, their confidence is high.
Right.
You never want to have that super tough opponent right away unless you have like a older senior team, because you don't want to destroy the confidence of a freshman. You destroy the confidence of a freshman, you probably lose them for months. And that's not what you want. So there's a systematic approach to not only camp practices, but also scheduling. And they do that in all levels of basketball, except for the NBA. The NBA does whatever they want. We want to get the most ratings out of every single game. That's the NBA scheduling priority. But I do agree with Matt. I do think that the Atlanta Hawks have the makings of an excellent team. The East is going to be really competitive this season.
Yep.
I think Kingston has a shot. I think Zuby has a shot to get some playing time in there. I think the biggest thing for Kingston, even though he's a good on-ball defender, he's so small. I wonder how much he gets hunted. And a lot of his...
He's going to, yeah.
He is. So, but a lot of his run is going to be dependent on how much he fights so that teams stop hunting him. And if he can do that and get teams not to be able to be so successful targeting him, he's going to have an easier time. Because on offense, when they get into the open court, with all that length and athleticism and youth they have, my God, they're going to be scary fast.
Right.
Scary fast in the open court. But that's all we have on the Atlanta Hawks today. Rookies only. We run through every single team that is in the NBA that drafted rookies. And the next team that is on our list is in alphabetical order. That's the Boston Celtics. There may have been this news you didn't hear about because you've been living under a rock, but Jaylen Brown, no longer a Boston Celtic. So
I don't know who that is.
I mean, his left hand doesn't know who he is. But anyway.
Oh, that.
And, at the time we heard that the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade was going to go down differently because Boston had Hugo Gonzalez. How did he do in Summer League? Find out next episode. We'll tell you. But Matt, tell the people where they can find you, follow you, and get more of your work.
You could find me at NPH_824_ on Twitter. You could find me at hotoutHoops.com, VendetaSportsMedia.com, MountainWestConnection.com, and Orlando Magic on SI.
And if you didn't catch the math and arithmetic for his Twitter handle, it's down here in the description at MPH_824_. You can just pause this video. Don't forget to follow him. You can follow me. I'm Digital Adel. That seems easier, but I don't know. You can follow me on any social media platform, just Digital Adel. If it's Instagram, which I'm trying to grow my Instagram channel, it's Digital_Adel. For some reason, the name Digital Adel isn't acceptable. Nobody's using it, but it's just not there. But don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody that watches this video. We're going to try to continue to make this more visible because for some reason, these videos don't show up on the front page of YouTube. We're going to work it out. We're going to get better thumbnails, same original analytical content, but a better package for you. We'll see you next time.